Hello there, it's Eric Backer here, naturopath, speaking to you from my clinic here in New Zealand, in sunny Hawke's Bay. Today I'd like to talk a little bit about adrenal fatigue, what adrenal fatigue is, what it compromises, how it can affect you, and how many people are affected by adrenal fatigue. I've been a naturopath now for nearly 25 years. And in that period of time, I've seen many patients suffering from many shades of adrenal fatigue. I started to take adrenal fatigue seriously around about 2000, when I started to treat more patients with thyroid disorders, fatigue, insomnia, poor libido, inflammation, poor immunity, the list goes on. And I started to notice a common thread with a lot of these people. The common thread I'm talking about is these people lack energy and vitality. They started to show me signs of blood sugar disorders and weight gain, tiredness, depression, anxiety, poor cognition, brain function, mood disorders, recurring immune dysfunction. With women, I tend to see a lot of premenstrual syndrome and also other hormone issues, particularly as a woman gets older. We start to see this. So I started to read up a lot more, and I came across this book. I read this book, I think it would have been in 2001. And in 2006, 2007, I got very interested in adrenal fatigue to the point where I introduced Dr. Wilson's adrenal fatigue program into New Zealand and ultimately into Australia. And since then, my clinic has treated almost 5,500 patients with Dr. Wilson's unique protocol. Dr. Wilson now has become a very close personal friend, and I'm very privileged to have known Jim, particularly how much Dr. Wilson has taught me over the years. It's been phenomenal. It's changed the way I practice, entirely changed the way I tend to see patients in my clinic now. And instead of treating all the manifestations of fatigue and burnout, which many practitioners tend to do, I tend to treat the adrenal dysfunction. And by doing that, the patient will come back and tell me things such as, I haven't felt this good in 20 years. My energy is up. I'm feeling great again. My sex drive is coming back. My brain function's improving. I'm not getting coughs or colds or flus anymore. My pain or arthritis is diminishing. So I started to think to myself, why do so many doctors and naturopaths treat the manifestations of stress rather than treat the causes of it, and tend to not only treat the causes of stress, but support the body, support the stress axis of the body. So not long after I introduced Dr. Wilson into New Zealand, I got interviewed by a current affairs program. And you can see that video clip below this video clip. I'll post that on this site for a few weeks so you can check that one out. That's a YouTube channel called Adrenal NZ. You can see that. Since its inception into New Zealand, this has been an enormously successful program, not just in my clinic, but in many clinics around Australia and New Zealand. I've supported now many doctors and naturopaths throughout Australia and all through New Zealand to encourage them and help them really bring this problem to the foreground. And since then, Dr. Wilson's program has really set the standard for how adrenal fatigue is treated in Australasia. So if you're a patient now who can relate to tiredness, lack of interest in life in general, recurring immune dysfunction, poor cognitive function, particularly poor memory, grumpiness, irritability, depression, anxiety, feeling sick all the time or going from one sickness to another, these are very much shades of burnout and fatigue. Now, many doctors will argue with me that adrenal fatigue doesn't exist. Well, I'll argue back to them, adrenal fatigue does exist. It's a recognized problem now. In Japan, after Dr. Wilson spoke, after the tsunami and the Fukushima meltdown, adrenal fatigue was recognized by the Japanese government as being illness in its own right. And the World Health Organization, about 2 years ago now, recognized adrenal fatigue to actually be a definable, diagnosable illness. There are hundreds of thousands of research papers documenting adrenal fatigue. So there is certainly plenty of evidence and research backing up Dr. Wilson's claims. Personally, in my clinic, I've seen all these patients improve to an extent where I'm very excited about this protocol. So if you can relate to adrenal fatigue, read some more information on my site on adrenal fatigue. Just do a search. Go to adrenalfatigue.co.nz and read some articles there. And we can either help you, point you in the direction of a practitioner who can help you throughout Australia and New Zealand. Perhaps you're in Canada and America. You can go to adrenalfatigue.org and have a look there. And they'll certainly point you in the right direction. Otherwise, contact my clinic direct on a link directly below this YouTube clip. And click on the link, and my office manager, Tracy, will certainly help you out. If you're not currently seeing a practitioner and you want to see someone who's treated many thousands of cases, I'm always glad to assist to help you on the road to recovery. So, yeah, there's nothing like health and well-being. And a very favourite saying of mine is, health is not appreciated until sickness comes. Stress is one of the key dysfunctions affecting people today. 80% of the work I'm involved in is regarding lifestyle and diet, and 20% is regarding actually taking things. And that's very similar to what Dr. Wilson says in his book. If you don't get your lifestyle correct and your diet correct, you're never going to recover. You can take supplements as long as you want. You're not going to recover. You must make changes on multiple levels. So by reading Dr. Wilson's book, or by seeing somebody like me or someone who specializes in this condition, we can certainly help you on the road to recovery. If you have any questions, feel free to contact me at my clinic, and I'll certainly reply to you. Have a wonderful day. Thank you.